Hello, Broleg sent me a message that his video is complete. His video being Age of Mythology Retold, the best RTS of 2024. You should play. He has very funny videos, so we're going to react to this. So enjoy.
Greetings, fellow Olympians. All men want the same thing. A beautiful queen, 1 million beers, the death of live service games, and to be brutally gang-tossed by a bunch of minotaurs who are just enjoying a little bit of Minoan tennis. Age of Empires was always one of the biggest franchises in RTS. You all know what it is, a series of more grounded and competitive base-building real-time strategy games, where players spawn on a map with the sole purpose of eliminating the enemy player. But I bet a lot of you didn't know that Age of Empires has a smaller, less-known spin-off brother, Age of Mythology, which originally came out in September
It's like if you had
developed by
ADHD
Ensemble Studio. While Age of Empires was
that had
based on
ADHD
respective historical periods with absurdly horrid level of historical accuracy, Age of Mythology takes a different approach and focuses on ancient mythology rather than history. And the most ironic thing is that Age of Mythology's factions are a lot more historically authentic and unique than those of supposedly historical Age of Empires. But that is besides the point. The question is, why are we talking about Age of Mythology in the first place? Well, that is because they just released Age of Mythology Retold, which is a remaster of the original game with beautiful visuals.
The racist.
Okay. First of all, I kind of like that original graphics because it reminds me of Warcraft 3 again.
Which is a remaster of
These kind of like 3D polygonal looking models. They're a bit more scuffed than the Warcraft 3 ones, but not that much more scuffed. They're pretty similar.
The original game with beautiful visuals.
The racist.
Modern controls, better AI, lots of rebalances, and proper ranked multiplayer. When the game was announced, I was honestly shocked that this is the last thing I ever expected to come out. A surprise to be sure, but boy was it a welcome one.
I need to find out what software Broleg uses to edit his content, because if I tried to do this on Sony Vegas, this first minute would have taken me probably about 50 hours. He puts so much into it, and as soon as you start putting things into Sony Vegas, it starts lagging and sluggish, and it's not good.
Played Age of Mythology as a kid, and I only got it about maybe 5 years ago to try it out with my friends for a bit. But I love RTS, and it's well established by now that I fiend for ancient Greek and Egyptian content, so you know I was all over that thing. So, is Age of Mythology worth playing today? Do the changes make it worth the purchase if you already own the original game? Am I currently glued to my screen grinding ranked multiplayer? All that shall be
What? Why would someone ever do that?
It's time for a lunch break. Oh boy, I sure am excited because today's lunch is brought to you by The Factor. I love fresh groceries. And you know what I like more than fresh groceries? When a well-established company delivers freshly cooked meals made out of the aforementioned groceries straight to your doorstep. You want to make a delicious meal but are stressed about what to make? Skip all the grocery shopping, prep work, and cooking fatigue and get one of the 35 chef-crafted yummy meals.
He missed an opportunity to say skibbity.
To your salivating mouth. It even has keto, calorie smart, and vegan options. Why waste money on overpriced takeouts if Factor is fresher and once again much yummier?
Now this is good if he's getting a sponsorship for this. This is the problem I had where I haven't got myself sponsorship, so I do those massively edited videos, but YouTube don't really pay you much of anything, to be honest. So yeah, it's rough. You need to get, for the amount of effort and time you put into making this, you got to get some money.
You live alone and got no time to cook? Well, these fresh, never frozen meals are ready to heat up and eat in just 2 minutes time. And to make things even cheaper, you can save 50% off your first order and 20% off
those do look nice
order
as
for
prawns.
the entire next month. If you use my
but if I was going to eat
which
prawns,
gives
they would
you
probably look like that.
To give your first time a try without worrying about spending money. Boy, I love it when eating fresh meals is cost efficient. I mean, who can say no to delicious food being delivered straight to your doorstep at such a low price?
Like an avocado sauce.
Look at it. Don't forget to use the link in the description, and I hope you enjoy it. Now back to the video. The game takes place in a fictional ancient time where all mythical gods are real. Gameplay in a nutshell: you, the player, pick a race, your god, and transform your peaceful town of 4 to a destructive force of nature and obliterate your opponent. Sounds simple enough? It's not. Upon starting the game, outside of the epic main menu theme, you are met with 3 options: skirmish, campaign, and multiplayer. Which one do you start with first? Neither. You go to settings, and I recommend you make some gameplay and keybind changes.
That is what I did.
Is to enable both villager RQ and training on start, as well as change attack button to
it was a lot of work.
assigned the town setup button to H to make it similar to other RTS games. Now most of the people, rightfully so, would start with the campaigns, where you get 3 on launch. The compulsory adventures of a middle-aged Atlantean named Arcantos.
Good. The Black's going to regret this.
But his odyssey to catch a fat ogre who really wants to let Grandpa
pretty
Kronos
sure that's what he said.
fuck the world. A story of Arcantos' son getting fooled into letting Grandpa Kronos mouth fuck the world. And a story of 2 Norse dwarves trying to impress Freyr with their pig crafting setups. Then you have Skirmish, which is the offline single-player matches against bots, as well as custom scenarios. Finally, the multiplayer, where you play either casual or quick plays and custom games with other players, or do ranked multiplayer matches with proper elo. You're also provided with editor and mods, in case you want to gift a sneak peek into your creative drive to the rest of the world. I will be focusing my entire review on the standard game mode that is shared among Skirmish, casual, and ranked multiplayer. The only difference is that ranked doesn't have auto queues for military units and villager resource priority, which are basically baby wheels for new players, and if you're planning to eventually play ranked, I advise you not to learn to rely on those features, as once again they're absent in ranked. But villager auto queues are still there, so you can and should use them all you want. The first thing to do is pick between 4 races: the Greeks, the Egyptians, the Atlanteans, and the Norse. The 4 races are fundamentally different and have totally different gameplay mechanics, similar to how the 4 playable races of Warcraft 3 are different. They have completely different unit rosters, buildings, resource gathering, and priorities, as well as different gods to choose from. The Greeks are...
There is one thing I noticed, though. I do think... I mean, they're vastly different enough that it definitely warrants them being different races, and it's enjoyable. But it's like, I was thinking the other day, like the Egyptians have the carrion beetle, which is like that sort of tanky, costs a lot of food unit, destroys buildings. Then I thought, oh, I'm just playing the Atlanteans. You got those dinos that cost a lot of food, destroy buildings, tanky. And then like the, you know, so forth. I can't remember the other, well, I do remember, but I can't remember the examples of the other 2. Yeah, the Colossus, is the Colossus or Titan for the Greeks. Tanky, does a lot of damage to buildings. Cost gold, though, to be fair, that one. So, yeah, even then, maybe not all exactly the same, but you kind of get the idea. There's still some sort of similarities in terms of good amount of infantry, good amount of archery, good amount of horse cavalry. Yeah.
Based around a mix of archaic, classical, and Hellenistic Greeks, with a bit of everything. The Egyptians seem to be based around late Bronze Age Egypt, with light infantry, chariots, camels, and for some reason, elephants. Cool. We got the Norse with heavily aggressive infantry and limited cavalry and ranged, and finally we have the Atlanteans, who are in a way an extension to the Greeks, but are very alien and fictionalized. Now what makes these factions different from Age of Empires? They all have mythological units, upgrades, and spells, represented by the gods you picked. Since once again, it's well established by now that I am actively fiending for anything ancient Greek, you already know I'm maining them Greeks, baby. So let's pick them. And now you have an option to pick between 3 major gods.
Not Atlantean?
Zeus, Hades, or Poseidon. Each has their own completely unique spells and specialized minor gods progression. For example, if you pick Zeus, your faction will have starting buffs in relation to infantry and myth unit production. You will start with the Thunderbolt spell, which allows you to insta-kill any unit that isn't a Titan. This doesn't sound very useful, but it actually...
It sounded like a priest dying in Warcraft 3.
Is, especially for early game where expensive units are few in between, and sniping that one big myth unit or hero is the difference between life or death. But you know how I like to waste my first free Thunderbolt? To snipe enemy scouts, first aid.
There was a satyr, I think, dying. I don't know what the second one was.
Between life or expensive units, unit that isn't infantry and myth unit production. You will start with the Thunderbolt spell, which allows you to insta-kill any...
It does sound like a priest. Could be something else. Sounds like a priest, though.
Unit that isn't a Titan. This doesn't sound very useful, but it actually is, especially for
that sounded like a freaking skeleton. I didn't even know there was one on that.
Early game where expensive units...
What's that?
Are few in between, and sniping that one big
I don't know what that one is.
hero is the difference between life or death. But you know how I like to waste my first free Thunderbolt? To snipe enemy scouts first age. Does it help? Sure, now they lost their scout and they have to get another one, which is a waste of their time. But is it worth a Thunderbolt? Of course not. Then why do I do it?
I think sometime in the life I'm too competitive, you know?
Just to get the out of them. Anyways, during the game you get to progress through the ages, starting in Archaic, then progressing to Age 2, Classical, then Age 3, Heroic, and Age 4, Mythical. And with each progression you get to choose between 2 minor gods, kinda like you get to pick between 2 landmarks in Age of Empires 4. Each minor god provides a new spell, a new myth unit, and 3 to 4 unique researches that range from upgrades for certain units to economical improvements. Each of the major gods has their own unique selection of minor gods that they can pick. Minor gods play an immeasurable impact on your faction's playstyle. Getting back to Zeus, my beloved, you gotta consider that you have a lot of paths to pick from. Remember that Zeus has insane buffs for infantry and is generally infantry focused. His melee infantry has has 50% damage increase against buildings, which might as well turn an army of Zeus's hoplites into an army of battering rams. Now you have an option.
That does sound very good.
Infantry focus by picking Athena, who focuses on providing improved weapons for hoplites and shields for all infantry, Dionysus, who has the bronze spell which turns your entire army into tanks for a while, and Hephaestus, who will provide anti-myth damage to all your myrmidons. Or will you diversify by picking different gods, making your armies more varied at the cost of having your infantry not at the maximum potential? There's just so many choices, even with just one major god. Going full out with infantry will guarantee that you will field the best infantry in the match, but you also risk being predictable, and a good player will always easily counter you. This requires a lot of playing and tinkering until you find your favorite gods and playstyles that fit your dick like a sleeve. The myth units play a crucial role in your strategy. Despite there being a huge variety of myth units, be it ranged, melee, cavalry, ginormous motherfuckers, and so on, they're all classified as simply myth, so any units that counters myth units counters all of them, such as these Norse big hammer chuds. Myth monsters are all very unique and have their own purpose, but fielding a lot of them is a challenge since they cost favor, and each of the 4 races has a unique way of earning it. Greeks might be the simplest in that regard. All they do is build a temple and pray. The more villagers who got on their knees praying, the more favor you earn. So it's up to you to learn how your choice of minor gods affects the path you want to take and what sort of myth units you want to field to accompany your human armies. Alright, almost forgot, there's also naval combat that is always available as long as there's water on the map, which means almost never during ranked play, so the casual multiplayer can be played with up to 12 players, with a variety of game modes, custom lobbies, or quick play, while the rank consists of only 2 game modes and can be played only in 1v1, 2v2, or 3v3. I spend all of my time playing nothing but ranked. I grind that ranked, I fuck with that ranked, I love that ranked. It's very fast paced and aggressive.
Why? I just, like 80% of the video, I'm just like, why use that clip or something? Can't help himself. I wouldn't go into rank myself, even though I'm obviously quite competitive in Warcraft 3 and such. My favorite playstyle is always just against the computer and like trying to use tricks to manipulate the computer. That's always like my preferred method. And obviously the campaign is like pretty much just that in a nutshell. And then you can always go into skirmishes and then try to do 1 versus 2 or 1 versus 11 AI or whatever you do.
And as I would like to think of it, as a fair intellectual exchange between 2 forces of autism, learning new strategies from their opponents as
the second death sound was a witch doctor, was it? Could be.
they're getting rammed viciously. The speed at which a player can go from nonchalant to freaky while playing a single ranked match should be studied. It's simple. You start with a polite handshake, get rammed by the enemy and get your skills questioned, or ram the enemy and still get your skills questioned. Sometimes with a premium bonus addition of a slur here or there. It's definitely very competitive.
Like, I know he said he gets these clips from like Discord and stuff like that, but how you got that many? There're just so many of them. What the fuck is going on?
Environment. That's why I most certainly definitely recommend new players to start with quick play instead, where it's definitely nowhere near as brutal as ranked, as once again, us ranked players love it when our blood boils. Because let me tell you, there's nothing more satisfying in gaming than seeing the victory screen in any ranked game. Now, visually the game looks incredible. This, in my personal opinion of course, is the greatest visual style they could have went for with this remaster. It looks fresh and modern, but very faithful to the classic. The world textures are beautiful, the building models are awesome, and most importantly, the unit models are just mwah. Every single non-mythical upgrade actually changes the appearance of units, even more so than they did in original.
That's
and
pretty
they
neat.
just look gorgeous.
Imagine they did that in Warcraft 3.
Almost unchanged from the original, which is honestly the best choice for perfect nostalgia bait. And the music is just a banger. I can listen to the Greek and Egyptian themes 100 times over and nobody's gonna stop me. In conclusion, Age of Mythology Retold is 100% worth your money and is an excellent modern RTS game with a very unique gameplay loop and an actually ranked multiplayer game mode that you can play endlessly. They also already planned 2 DLCs, with the first one already confirmed to be the remake of the Chinese race DLC from the original games. Age of Mythology Retold absolutely dick slaps Warcraft 3 Reforged, finally healed the remaster wound that Reforged has left us with. Never again, Blizzard. Never again. Thank you for watching this cringe review, and let me know down in the comments what other games you'd like me to review next. Now have a good one. A very special thanks to Rex Absol, Gook, Corny, Random Guy, Magistra Generalis, Nunya Business, Shmovik, Sensei, and Putty Rumple for being a tier 4 Brolig member. I love you.
There it is. Well, that was a great video. My gosh, so much effort put into that. It's insane. yeah, I don't think you guys have any idea. Unless you do like video editing or have done it in the past. That's so much work. It's crazy. Obviously give him a like, a thumbs up, so check it out. and go to his channel. I'll link that obviously in the video description below. He does lots of crazy reviews like that. So it might be a bit fast-paced for my audience, but you know, if you enjoyed it, then definitely give it a go. I would highly recommend it. If nothing else, you'll be entertained. And if you do like Age of Mythology, I am enjoying it myself. I'm still playing through the campaign. It is really, really good. Even though it came out a few weeks ago, I'm still going through it. If you play on Titan difficulty, which is the hardest one, it will keep you challenged. Let's say that much. But it's like the fun kind of challenge. It's like, oh, I lost that level, but now I want to sort of do this thing different and do that thing different so I can overcome that thing that happened that caused me to lose. And then you just keep doing that until you get the level beat, and it's pretty damn good. So yeah, if you're interested in that, you can go to youtube.com/WTiiWarcraft, WTiiWarcraft, to watch the playthrough videos that are all going up, and they're all on a playlist. So you can just check it out and stick on a favorite list or whatever and just watch it in your own time. Thanks. Have a good one.